Let's talk about romantic love. It's one of the most powerful and, let's face it, sought-after experiences in human life. But for centuries, some of the greatest minds, philosophers, have debated what it really is and why it has such a profound, almost magical power over us. So let's explore some of their answers.
And that's a pretty fair question, right? Why do we put ourselves through it? Because love is, well, it's a huge contradiction. It's this wild emotional roller coaster that can take you to the absolute highest highs and the most crushing lows. So why do we keep lining up to buy a ticket for that ride?
On the one hand, it can be just beautiful. You know that deep feeling of connection? Of being truly seen and understood by another person? That's the stuff that gives life a real sense of meaning.
And oh man, is it intoxicating. When you're falling in love, the world literally seems brighter. The colors are more vivid. You feel like you're walking on air. It's this totally all-consuming rush.
But then there's the flip side. Love can be completely, utterly heartbreaking. That same connection that brought you so much joy can cause an incredible amount of pain when it's lost or betrayed.
And at its worst, it can feel absolutely soul-crushing. The despair that comes from a love gone wrong can leave you feeling empty, hollowed out, totally broken. So with these massive risks, what are the arguments for it?
Well, before we get to the good news, let's actually start with the bad news, the really cynical perspectives. Some thinkers believed love wasn't some virtue to aspire to, but a fundamental problem we need to solve.
So let's look at two of the biggest pessimists on the topic, the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer and, perhaps surprisingly, the Buddha. Now, they came from very different worlds, but both saw romantic love as this powerful illusion, something designed to lead us astray.
Schopenhauer was incredibly blunt about it. He argued that all the poetry, the romance, that feeling of destiny, it's all just a voluptuous illusion. That's his phrase. He believed the universe is driven by this blind, irrational force he called the will to live. And this will, it doesn't care one bit about our happiness. It just wants to keep the species going. So romantic love is its cleverest trick to get us to procreate. We're essentially being duped.
And his conclusion is, well, it's pretty bleak. As this quote shows, for Schopenhauer, once that biological goal is met, once the will gets what it wants, the illusion just fades away, the passion dies down, and we're just thrown right back into our ordinary, tormented lives. A pretty grim take, to say the least.
Now, the Buddha's perspective is different, but it's just as cautionary. His core teaching is that life is suffering, and the root cause of all that suffering is our craving and our attachment to things. And since everything in life is impermanent, attaching ourselves so strongly to another person, which is what romantic love is, inevitably leads to pain when things change or, eventually end.
There's this powerful story that illustrates this perfectly in the classic Chinese novel, Dream of the Red Chamber. So there's this young man, Jia Ru, and he becomes completely obsessed with the beautiful Xifeng. This attachment leads him to humiliation, sickness, it ruins him. A Taoist gives him a magic mirror and warns him, only look at the back, which shows a skeleton, a reminder that everything fades. But of course, he can't resist looking at the front, where he sees her face. His soul gets trapped in the mirror, and he dies. The moral is crystal clear. That kind of obsessive attachment leads to total tragedy.
Okay, that's enough of the doom and gloom. Let's switch gears completely and jump to a much more romantic, much more hopeful explanation for love, one that takes us all the way back to ancient Greece.
The great philosopher Plato gave us one of the most powerful and enduring ideas about love ever, that it's a quest for completion. It's not a trick, it's not a defect. It's this fundamental, deep-seated longing to find the person who finally makes us feel whole.
This whole idea comes from an amazing story told in Plato's Symposium. The playwright Aristophanes explains that humans were originally these powerful creatures with 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 faces, the whole deal. But they got arrogant, and they angered the gods. So Zeus, as punishment, sliced them all in 2. Ever since that day, each of us has been wandering the earth, searching for our other half. You know that feeling when you meet someone and it just feels like coming home? Well, according to this myth, that's because you are literally finding your missing piece.
All right, now let's jump forward a couple thousand years to the 20th century. This is where philosophers started thinking about love not as some myth or biological trick, but as a very real, practical solution to the problems of modern life. Two key thinkers here are Bertrand Russell and Simone de Beauvoir. They looked at the modern world and saw it as potentially cold, isolating, lonely,
And they argued that love was a powerful antidote to that. For Bertrand Russell, we all build these hard, protective shells around ourselves because we're afraid of the world. And love is the one thing that allows us to break out of that lonely shell. It's intimacy, it's warmth, it gives us the courage to actually engage with the world more fully. So for him, love isn't just a feeling, it's a tool for overcoming fear and living a richer, more abundant life. In his words, it is literally the best thing in life.
Simone de Beauvoir took this idea a step further. She was really interested in how we can love better. She warned against that old-fashioned idea of love where people, especially women back then, become dependent on their partner for their whole identity. No, for her, authentic love was a partnership. It's like a shared project, where two free, independent people support each other's growth, enriching not just their own lives, but the world around them together.
Wow. Okay, so we've gone from love as a biological trap to a mythical quest to find our other half, to a modern partnership for mutual growth. That is a dizzying range of ideas. So where does all this leave us?
So what is it? Is love a trick to make us have babies, a source of suffering, a desperate search for our soulmate, a way to escape loneliness, or this grand project for enriching our lives? The truth is, philosophy doesn't really give us one single, neat answer. And you know what? That's really the point. The value here isn't about finding the one right theory. It's about using all of them as a kind of lens to look at our own lives, our own experiences and beliefs about love. Which one of these ideas really resonates with you?
In the end, we're right back where we started, with that profound paradox. Love is a gamble. It's a huge risk. It holds the potential for our absolute greatest joy and our deepest, most profound pain. In it, we might just lose ourselves completely, or we might just have the chance to truly find ourselves for the first time.
It's scary and it's exhilarating. It might be heartbreaking, or it might just be the best thing in life. The only question left is the one that philosophy can't answer for you. Will you dare to find out?